live?
And we are live.
Let's do it.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Episode
Let's
1
fucking go.
of the Toxic
So you
Boys
gotta,
podcast.
someone's watching. You gotta turn it off on YouTube. Let's
One.
fucking go.
This is unbelievable, guys. Definitely very happy to have everyone here.
One of y'all gotta.
I have nothing going, so it ain't my.
Are we good?
Yeah, now
we're
we're
good. All right, we're good. Some technical difficulties. So welcome everyone to episode 1 of the Toxic Boys podcast. Ari from Manhattan, Poppa left, Jay from Florida in the building. Shout out some people here. Shout out Cassius Clay. Shout out Jake D. Iraz is the first person who commented. You're the number 1 mod right now. It's Iraz, Ray Anthony Robles.
So Ari, we gotta do some housekeeping real quick. So I have a question. Since we're not lit yet, we're lit, but we're not lit. We're not 1,000 subscribers lit yet. So what are we gonna do that replaces the super chat? Like, what kind of system can we have for people in the chat so that they say something and they can enter the conversation as well? Like, how can we do that? Like, I'm thinking we every now and then you could send, Pastor Claudio, you can send a little super chat, send a little fake number and whatever, and we'll take the donation in spirit. All right,
let's do it. Yo, shout out to the chat, man. Cassius is in the building. Iraz, who else? Suffering Nicks. Jake is in the building. Shout out to everybody, man, that's coming through. Big Heck.
My favorite is the Banksy in Nick's Twitter, and he says, Julius Randle super fan here. I fucking love it. Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to
with everyone here, you guys are here from ground zero, okay? You guys are here from ground zero. You are the number 1 fans right now at Toxic Boys. So you guys are going to get preferential treatment from now on. I'm going to make most of you guys mods, and we're going to run this shit together. But before we get started, we got some housekeeping items to do. So first, shout out to our sponsors, winesbymoselle.com, www.winesbymoselle.com, hashtag Toxic Boys with a Z for 10% off and free shipping. Poppa, what are you sipping?
Wine God.
Yeah, I'm slipping on some Wine God right now. This shit is from Germany apparently, but it's some Wines by Moselle, so it's some Wine God. And Moselle is like honestly the best sponsor that there is. Like, I don't think I want another sponsor. Like, I'd rather just rock with the Wine God forever.
Yeah, shout out to Moselle, man. Shout out to our brother.
Moselle's the GOAT. I
got some Riesling though.
I'm drinking a Rioja from Spain, a nice Spanish blend, Rioja. It's nice and dry. I'm also drinking the big boy tonight, obviously. So we got
Maurice Claret. Shout out to Maurice Claret, Ohio State.
It wouldn't be an Ari from Manhattan move if you didn't have the 5-hour energy also. So we mixing it up here. Jay, you sipping anything? Or you just chilling? What are you doing?
Pellegrino, man. Straight Pellegrino.
He's fancy, man. He's drinking
not Twitter. This is not Spaces.
Yeah.
This is not Spaces. We got Pellegrino in this bitch.
So first off, I want to shout out to also Smooth and Cash's Players Club. Definitely support Players Club. They have a very good space. We support everybody here. We want to start out Suffering Nicks.
Rules. Can anybody not be? If you in the chat and you're not allowed in the chat, please leave now before Charlotte gets on you. Please leave now.
I'll be honest. I was in one, and I was the only one there, and I felt like a super supporter. Which I just want some love. That's all. I just got so much love in my heart. I just want some love. I know I'm toxic.
We just love everybody here. So it's all one big family, and we love all y'all guys. Now, before we get started, a couple shout outs. So obviously shout out winesbymoselle.com, hashtag Toxic Boys, 10% off, plus free shipping. Also, I want to shout out CP, the franchise, and Knicks Fan TV. Without Knicks Fan TV, no one would know who any 3 of us are. So, he is the godfather. He's the one who gave us a voice. We're just going to continue that voice. I'm sure all you guys are following CP and Knicks Fan TV, but salute to the GOAT over there, CP, the franchise, and Knicks Fan TV. So what we're going to do before we get started is all you guys know who we are, but we're going to do a quick rundown of where we came from and how we became known on Twitter. So I'm obviously Ari from Manhattan. I've been calling into Knicks Fan TV when they had 900 subs before pretty much anyone was there. I've had some battle of the fans moments. I've have controversial takes, and I always speak my mind. And I got on Twitter last year, and people know me from the show. So that's how I was known. Poppa, how do people know you?
Well, I feel like you didn't add something to your legacy, my friend. I feel like you are Henry Aaron of Knicks Takes. Like you are, the Wilt Chamberlain of Knicks Takes, bro. Like you had the greatest take in Knicks fan take history, bro.
Facts.
Salute.
I mean, he did. I mean, it sounds fucking egotistical and ego stroking, but to be honest, I rarely get inspired to rap. And I fucking rapped about Julius Randle. Like, I felt that shit in my soul. And Ari was like, fuck this guy. Ari was like,
so high.
Get 2 picks. Get the fuck out of this shit. This shit's not going to work out. It takes courage to do that shit. That's all I got to say. I'm Poppa Left. There's a lot of things that I could say about myself, but I want to say that without Knicks Fan TV, I would never feel compelled to have any platform in this community. Without CP the franchise, Casey Powell, the fucking leader of Knicks content, inspires me in a way that has nothing to do with the Knicks. Okay? Like, I just fucking grew up with no cable TV, listening to John Sterling and Charlie Steiner, and sometimes Michael Kay before him. And I would listen to these guys, and I would listen to 660 WFAM radio, listen to the late night Bill Daughtry every night. Like, I would listen to that and say, that's what I want to do when I grow up. Like, and it wasn't even like a thought. Like, it made so much sense. It was like, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up. And then my dad passed away when I was 15, and I started to connect to hip hop, and hip hop kind of gave me that platform to express myself. And I tried to find my ways in this world. And I went through a lot of different things with my best friends, and I survived those things. And it got to a point where I'm doing music. I love it. COVID hits. I'm sitting at home. I search Knicks podcast. I find Knicks Fan TV. And then ever since then, I start calling in. I can actually get in now. And from that point, just starting to make music about the Knicks, give my takes about the Knicks, and just share my passion. Like, this is like a serious passion, being a New York Knicks fan. Like, take no mistake about it. Anybody that I got disagreements with, anybody that I got legitimate beefs with, that I feel like, what the fuck? I don't care. People that I fuck with, people that I love. Like, I know when you're really in this shit, you're really in this passion. I know why it gives you joy. I know why it gives you pain. And I'm here to represent that through music, through podcasts, through my reactions. So more importantly than that, it's the connections that I'm building with you through that experience. We can joke about things and then find a common ground somewhere else. So I do feel like there's power that we don't even realize outside of the fucking Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes conversation that we'll get to in a little bit. But shout out to Ari. That's my brother, like, legitimately from birth. Like, that's how I feel about Ari. Like, Ari's my brother. He's fucking annoying as hell sometimes, and we fucking go at it. But Ari's the GOAT for multiple reasons, bro. And you need to put respect. Ari gets respect universally. Like, he comes through with his takes, and he doesn't have to do anything else but give his take, and his shit is respected universally. And then Jay from Florida, like, that's my soul brother, bro. That's my soul brother. That's someone I get on the phone with. I talk to him. He tells me about shit, like, tells me about that life shit. I fucking spill my fucking inhibitions and feelings and all that shit. Jay from Florida be like, yeah, man, it's how it is. Do. So respect to these 2 different guys in different ways. And I'm really like, there's no reason why I would be rocking with anybody but these 2 guys right now.
Salute, Poppa. Salute. That's beautiful. King of Knicks Twitter, Poppa Left. Jay, tell everyone where people know you from, and let's keep it moving, baby.
Jay from Florida, man. I live in Tampa, Florida. I'm a Knicks fan from Tampa, Florida. I'm from New York, but I live in Tampa. Knicks Fan TV put me on, man, making calls along with Ari and Poppa Left, becoming the Debbie Downer of Knicks Twitter. I've been a fan of the team since I was a kid. You see that jersey back there? That jersey's my jersey from 1994. Real deal Knicks fandom, right? No fake fandom. I didn't just start watching this team last year, 2 years ago when the pandemic started. I really love this team. I really want this team to be successful. I'm going to hold everybody accountable until we get a gold ball in Madison Square Garden. Call me what you want. Call me Debbie Downer. It is what it is. Everybody is getting held.
Right there. It's right there.
I can't get through this fucking black square, but it's
we gotta fix this. We gotta make this overlay a little bit lower so they can.
Can you switch? Let's do some fancy shit. Can we do some fancy shit real quick, Ari? Press a button. See what happens.
Yeah.
Boom. See, we're just like the rest of them. They got nothing on us now. Now it's all about talent.
So Let's see what happens. Jay from Florida, known as Debbie Down, the Knicks Fan TV. The jersey in the back is from '94. I've been a Knicks fan my whole damn life. I'm going to hold them accountable until we get a championship in this building. I will call them the mid-New York Knicks until we get a championship in the building. I don't care about Jalen Brunson. I want us to win to be a perennial playoff team. I'm watching the Celtics and Philly go at it right now. I'm trying to be up there with those type of teams, man. So we're going to hold these guys accountable until we get a championship. This is the goal. I would never do another show without my two brothers to the left of me. Shout out to Ari and Poppa left. We've seen eye to eye the whole time. And we disagree on a lot of things, but in terms of
we'll get into it.
I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else on Knicks Twitter, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the homies worldwide. Respect. Let's get this season started. Let's get our show started.
All right, perfect, guys. That was too close for me. Gotta move it back. But so what we're gonna do is first, before we get started, I just want to talk about my personal experience with Toxic Boys, what Toxic Boys means to me. You know, we dropped a little teaser, but basically, I think it was, I forgot when it was, Jay, but after one of the calls on Knicks Fan TV, either you or me, one of us two were getting shitted on, obviously. And obviously, if you look back in 2020 hindsight, we were actually right, but we were getting shitted on. And
that time, Deej and I were actually enemies.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you and Deej were enemies.
After every game, so yes.
Yeah. Just to remind people the narrative for people that's watching, like the Knicks had a very good season in 2020, 2021, where they made the 4th seed. They got into the playoffs for the first time in like 7 or 8 years. They really took a city that was plagued by a pandemic. And
the worst happened to us.
You got to understand there was a lot of dynamics going on culturally in New York City at that time that made this team very popular in the way that they played. And there was a lot of pushback after, reality hit. And this team pretty much, it was very visible that they were multiple steps away from really competing. And there's been an argument within that sprouted out of that pretty much said, like, what direction should this team go in? And so when the Knicks fans like going through this extreme elation to this devastating, like, destruction of a season that they had last year, like they expressed their rightful disappointment. Like some people took it too far. They got more shine from it because they took it too far. Okay. But in reality, most people, like numbers wise, were rightfully disappointed. The team went from a 4th seed to not even competing on any level last year. So when we're, expressing our displeasure with things that we're seeing, a lot of them basketball takes, by the way, most of them sprout out of basketball opinions. Okay. And you have a fan base that's ticked off. You can't say that those fans are doing too much or putting too much pressure on the players. You can't say that. Like, you have to be up to a standard to perform every night. And these guys were not last year for competitive reasons, for talent reasons, for organizational reasons, for coaching reasons, for optics reasons. Okay. Absolutely. There's a lot of things that were not going well with this team that needed to be voiced out, because at the end of the day, we are the consumers of the product and we should be able to criticize the product. You go on Yelp, that owner has to respond to that one guy that got his food cold.
Stop telling us how to fan, man. We're going to fan how we need to fan. If I'm not happy with the product, I'm going to voice my opinion. If they do well this year, I'll be happy with the product, man, as long as it's substantial winning.
Jay, when I called you on the phone, the Yankees just won Game 5 of the ALDS against Cleveland in a crazy series with weather and baby holding and abortions. It was crazy. Anyways.
Abortion?
Yeah, we're going there today. I mean, you should go vote. If I say go vote right now, I save myself from any criticism because I made this into a voting thing. So go vote and change the world. All right. But shout out to white people. But I'm sorry.
Okay.
Inside joke. Anyways, you said stay away from politics, Ari. I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna go.
All right, this is what we're gonna do.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring it back. At that time, Ari and Jay were labeled as toxic Knicks fans, and fans like Ari and Jay who felt like the season was irresponsibly going down the drain for no reason other than Tom Thibodeau's craziness and stubbornness. These guys stepped up and said, "Yo, this team is not where it needs to be. There needs to be a change. Got to bench Randall, things like that." And because of that, we got labeled toxic Knicks fans.
Exactly.
And that's where
the whole thing started. That's where the whole thing started. It's, we got labeled as toxic Knicks fans, and it's satire. And Jay and I were like, "Yo, let's just start our own thing." Even though we were just like kind of joking about it, it was supposed to be like a Twitter thing. Like we weren't supposed to do a channel or any of this stuff. It was literally a joke. And I'm like, "Jay, what do you want to call this?" And I swear to God, maybe within like a half a second, you're like, "Toxic Boys." And I was like, "All right, Toxic Boys it is." But it's really the accountability boys. That's why on the bottom right of your screen, you see hold everyone accountable, because it appears that James Dolan is not holding Leon Rose accountable. And it appears that Leon Rose is not holding Tom Thibodeau accountable. And it appears that Tom Thibodeau is not holding Julius Randle accountable. And, when you have all of the media from MSG and corporate media, and then the Knicks content creators, which for some reason all seem to think a certain way, not holding, the organization accountable. That's the role of the media. The role of the media is to be a check on government. It's supposed to be a check on the people that are in the positions of power. And when everyone just constantly, keeps the talking points of what the organization wants, somebody got to come in here and organize themselves and speak the opposite side of the equation. Whether or not you agree with us or not, we put a check on the balance. That's what the whole thing is, checks and balances. That's what the Toxic Boys is. Whatever you think, you say, as long as you're not trying to start a problem, unless you're not trying to fight anyone, as long as you're trying to attack the take and not the person, then you're in the right spot. So,
and at that point, you can always just say, if somebody's saying you're being toxic, you can say, "I'm just holding them accountable."
Exactly. We're the accountability boys. Exactly.
Stay away from the personals and just say the opinion, give your take. I'm just holding them accountable to my standard.
Yes. Very good point.
So let's get into some basketball, man. We talking a lot. Let's get into some basketball. Let's go over the schedule. Let's get into Quentin Grimes' gimpy ass foot. They can't get better. Get into my nephew.
Yeah. Can you like? Do you have to always just like jump in dissing like my favorite Knicks? Do you have to do that? By the way, I like your background. It's very nice. It looks like you put a lot of art and soul into that background.
Yeah, it's a little collage. My Knicks jersey. A couple things going on, man. We doing our
me and Ari are just fucking making money out here. But you enjoy your background, bro.
Yeah, man. I got to make it look pretty, man.
All right, Jay, I have a question for you. What is before we get started about the future? Let's talk about the preseason. What did you find positive about the preseason, and what did you find negative about the preseason? What are your overall thoughts on the preseason? And we'll go to Poppa.
So positive, first off, I've noticed how good Jalen Brunson is, and he's probably going to be the most important signing since Allen Houston. He's an amazing basketball player. He has a great IQ. He has great footwork. Even my mom noticed his footwork. She was texting me about Jalen Brunson a couple weeks ago.
Saw that.
How good he is. That's a positive. The downfall, the negative I see is that the starters might have to play 42 minutes a game because the second unit is so putrid, right? And we didn't see a lot of Rose, so who knows where Rose comes in and how many minutes he plays and how well he scores. But with IQ running the show, man, I'm sorry, Ari, I just can't get down with IQ. I can't get down with the ball hogging, not moving the ball, playing with no pace, chucking shots as soon as he gets in the game. It doesn't settle down the second unit. They really didn't do anything in terms of the preseason games. It was night and day in terms of starting and second unit. Mitch was my second positive. Mitch looked like a beast, like a man amongst boys. So shout out to Mitch and his new money. He did get paid. Poppa left. Got a lot of trouble in the summertime talking about picking Durant over paying Mitch. So he looks good so far. I can't front, man. Mitch and Brunson.
It hurts my ego. It hurts my ego that Jalen Durant isn't fucking David Robinson right now. It does hurt my ego.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably get there eventually. But right now, Mitch looks like the man. RJ looks like a man amongst boys. I've been saying this. You can see the individual work that he did with Drew Hanlon, and you can see cats that don't put in as much work. So shout out to RJ Brunson and Mitch Robinson. In terms of the bench, man, it looks kind of lopsided.
By the way, those are the three guys I have no issue with. Like starting, no issue.
I mean, 2 years ago the bench was unbelievable. So who knows if that happens again? It doesn't look like it right now. Maybe IQ turns it around in terms of the shooting. Maybe Obi takes another jump. Maybe we kind of swap guys out. Maybe Fournier goes to the second unit toward the middle of the year. But I'm afraid to see what happens when the starters actually leave the court, man. It's gonna be rough. But we'll see, man. Let's hope Grimes can get up and actually walk on his 2 feet. He's been Mr. Glass the last 2 years. A lot of nagging injuries.
Why are you calling him Mr. Glass already, bro? Like, you gotta have multiple fucking injuries to fucking do that shit. Don't say 2 is what I'm saying.
Yeah, last year he was walking on the baseline. He popped his whole knee out of place. I think he had like
I don't like. I'll give this. I am the leader of the Grimes Hive, but I don't like how his top GIF is him in fucking high fashion, just fucking doing this shit. He needs to get a better GIF than this shit this year.
I think he's kind of fat. I think Grimes needs to lose some weight, even though Tip said
Bro, what are you talking about?
I think he's a little
chubby. Talking about? How do you make up shit like that? How do you just make that? You know he's not fat, bro. What are you talking about?
Critique it. I think he looks a little chubby. He needs to lose a little weight. Maybe
that doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. He's not fat.
Maybe this is the injury.
We're not starting episode 1 with Quentin Grimes has to go on fucking Weight Watchers. We're not fucking starting that, bro.
But hopefully we get him on board. Cam looks like absolute garbage. That's a conversation for mid-show, but we'll see, man. What do y'all see as positives and negatives in the preseason? What do you see?
I can't with you, bro. You want to go to me after that? Was that your negative? Did you even list negatives in there? I feel like you just fucking
how trash and how trash the second unit was. And Obi had one good game. I gotta give him props for the one good game. But again, with Obi, he'll score 28 points and then he'll score 7 points in 2 consecutive games. So where does the consistency come in? I'd rather see 13 points a game than give me a superstar type game and then give me nothing for the next 2 games. I want consistency, but
I have a lot to say about that, about your take. But Poppa, if you want to go first, go ahead and give your takes.
All right. Positives from the Knicks preseason. Okay, let's think about it. All right. We won 3 games and we lost 1. Okay. So we proved that we can win 3 out of 4 games. Mm-hmm. Okay. From night to night. And we also won all the games at home, right?
Right.
So that, to me, that's somewhat important. Like how you show up on a home court, you can establish that and play in your home arena and play to your fans. It looks like RJ came out comfortable. The main thing is like we left preseason with shit we kind of already knew or we're already trying to figure out. But things that we needed to know that could not be a concern, like Jalen Brunson could not be a concern out of this preseason. And he immediately showed that he's the goods.
Right.
RJ Barrett could not be a concern, and he immediately showed he worked on his game. His shot is good. He looks strong. He's playing, he has 1 or 2 possessions where he looks very average, but his hard work gets him to the spot. And I want him to do more. I want RJ to be this franchise like peanut butter and fucking jelly. I want this fucking shit. Let's go. Make it universal. Make it ubiquitous that RJ Barrett is the Knicks. I'm tired of seeing Julius Randle's face on a fucking Knicks promo.
You might have to define ubiquitous for people out there popular. If you're going too
ubiquitous is like Coca-Cola. You know the Coca-Cola sign without knowing it's Coca-Cola, right?
Okay.
The Times Square Coca-Cola, it's ubiquitous. You knew it was there. You didn't even know. You didn't even visit New York. Anyway, I'll be fucking teaching, bro. I'll be fucking teaching.
See, man.
So I'm happy, man. I'm happy about RJ. I'm happy about Jalen Brunson. Mitch impressed the fuck out of me. If I'm watching a preseason game and I'm just fucking watching it, like Mitchell Robinson impressed the fucking shit out of me. I was just fucking like, yo, he's going out there like pulling out cross dribbles and fucking bullying people, getting rebounds, hitting all his dunks, hitting all his free throws, playing sick defense, being active, looking like the fucking Octagon out there, like fucking the fucking superhero and fucking Spider-Man, bro. This dude was fucking killing it. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. My negatives that come out of this preseason is Tom Thibodeau is my head coach, to quote State, and that's always going to be a concern for me until he proves that he can lean in to the true strength of this team, which is the two-way nature and the athleticism and the hot streakiness and the desire and the hustle. Like, can you just lean into that and play at that pace? Or must I methodically go through players like Evan Fournier and Julius Randle at times? Can you harness him and pull him and take him out of the game? Can you do that? That's my concern with Tom Thibodeau.
You know,
like, I need to see it.
I was thinking about Tibbs today, man, before we go to Ari, and I was thinking about the Charlotte Hornets situation. I'm like, yo, 6 players got arrested in the last year from them, right? So I'm thinking like, yo, we got a situation where we got a super militant ass coach, and Leon Rose is probably militant as well. Like, we got a structure. As much as I hate them not being innovative, not being a quote unquote modern NBA franchise, we don't have the same shit that's going on in Charlotte. So shout out to that. Having 6 players get in trouble within a year is insane. Like, I don't know what's going on. These guys have no.
The Jailblazers from back in the day.
Bro, can I just say, you're on this topic, right? I'm watching the Celtics and the Sixers play, and I just saw Joel Embiid grab the ball, kind of just like, just chilling on the perimeter, and then just passes it out to Tobias Harris. 3 guys are in the corner right there, not doing shit, and like it's just Joel Embiid passing it to Harris, and they're about to get a good look out of it.
Right.
Like, some teams, like they're so good, they have such high-end talent that the offense drives through that player on so many occasions. Like you have to, like I'm saying, you have to be creative. This team deserves creative ways to score. They deserve an identity.
He ain't that coach.
Yeah, they deserve an identity, bro. Look at Memphis. Look at the way they play. Now they do have John Morant, and that kind of leads back into what I'm saying, but we have enough talent and scrap on this team that could be their identity. And fuck it. If they win, they win. They'll probably win just as many games as a fucking slow, methodical, win my way Tibbs shit. But I want to lead into the fucking talent on this team, even if that means playing guys that are going to be inconsistent in stretches, bro. Because I know when they turn it up, it's Knicks versus Miami Friday night. That's what it is.
Team is relative popular. I was telling Cash.
I'd rather watch that win than fucking the fucking other shit that I'm about to watch. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what you think, Ari? What are some of your positives and negatives from the preseason?
So my positives are the same, similar to yours. I think Jalen Brunson is a very good basketball player, and I think from what we've seen from him and what we've seen going around the league, his contract isn't as bad as most of us thought it was. So that's a good sign. We actually have a point guard. Another positive I think that we have is that, I think that, RJ's looking really like he took a step already. I mean, listen, like the thing about me is I don't look into 4 preseason games and make a judgment on that, right? So, for example, where I disagree with you on is that like the second unit, you might have to play the starters 42 minutes. Like the second unit was great last year, and I'm going to hold 82 games of information and data over 4 games of preseason. So I still think the depth of this team is a positive also. I know you hate Quickley. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. Quickley started slow last year. He was actually terrible in the beginning of the year. And then, I remember Jay from Florida getting on Twitter and apologizing to everyone because Quickley dropped a 30-point triple-double against the Heat. So,
Ari, the point is this year it's like not acceptable to have a slow start. Like that's not a thing anymore. If he has a bad game, if he has a bad first game, like we're going after him, bro. Like if he's just bricking shit, we're going after him.
Quickly, right?
It's gonna happen, bro. I've been pulled back to the middle a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Do we have to play Quickley if he's trash until January, like he's been for the last 3 years? Do we technically even have to play him with Brunson and Rose there? Can we just sit him on the bench and just have?
He could be situational, but my guy is like fucking like Dr. Gordon and Saul right now. Fucking kicking on the
don't start this Quickley not getting real minutes narrative, man. The guy had the best net rating on the team last year just because he missed shots.
Nah, it could be situational if everybody's healthy though, bro. It could be. We better watch out, bro.
Listen, it's all right. It could be situational. I'm sure he'll earn his way. Shout out to Smooth, by the way. Jay, you are officially the recipient of the first tomatoes ever on Toxic Boys podcast.
But he didn't even give the take though. It wasn't in real time. It wasn't a take in real time. I reject those tomatoes. Those aren't the first tomatoes yet.
Jesus.
Fair enough. But
no,
whatever.
I respect Angel, but I respect the tomatoes as well. And the tomatoes has to be a live take, like something that we said that is like legitimately worthy of getting tomatoes thrown at us. Which, by the way, could be actually mean that you have a great take in Ari's case because he got fucking tomatoes thrown at him and it should have been fucking fireballs. That's fucking insane. Think about it.
I just read something in the chat. And shout out to Heck. Heck said Book Knight got 4 DUIs this year alone.
He's talented, bro.
On that note,
ain't Ferran Hunt getting those DWIs. He'd be out of the fucking league.
Yeah, shout out to Ferran.
Book Knight's gonna held for fucking 4. If you get a 5th, we might throw you out.
Ferran Hunt Nick's space is like a food review or some shit like tour guide in New York City. Let me hop on so these dweebs can give me a tour guide in New York. And
I don't want to call him a dweeb
because I'm an NBA player.
The wavelength is different. I'll say that it's a different wavelength.
So I'm drinking while podcasting, I guess. So hopefully,
let's go to our topics, man. Let's go through this shit.
All right, so let's start with this first. Let's start with, we know Jay hates Quickley and he thinks Grimes is fat. We know Poppa left, is a Grimes guy, and he's happy that we have a point guard. I obviously my biggest negative from the entire preseason is that if there's ever a team that's looked so mid ever, it's like the Knicks. Like you're talking about a team that's going to win anywhere between 39 and 44 games, like guaranteed, and that's like the worst place to be. So
the question is that a stereotypical mid team that's in the middle of nowhere? But is there a way in your mind that this team could win 41 games and be moving forward as a franchise?
Yes, very good question. And for me, this whole season right now, we're not going to win anything in the playoffs. We're not going to get fucking Victor Wembanyama. My whole thing about this season is information acquisition, just learning more about the players, who's a keeper, who's someone that you can get rid of, who's going to play big minutes, who's not going to play big minutes, and just to see what you actually have in these guys. It should have been what we did last year, but Tom Thibodeau was playing Alec Burks more minutes than Nikola Jokic, and, he kind of ruined the whole vibe last year without playing the young guys. But as long as we get some information and as long as we have all of our draft assets, you still have, ability to make a move in the future. So if the Knicks are 41-41, but RJ Barrett drops 25 a game and he makes an all-star reserve team, or Obi Toppin gives you 18-8 on 55% shooting or something like that, like that's a positive season.
I think Obi's more important in that equation.
Yeah, Obi's very.
I know RJ's going to give me 25 if we're 41-41, but what I really need to see from this team is, it's just, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. That every single player that was discussed in a Donovan Mitchell trade needs to be like fucking good at basketball for our team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's no other way around it. Like there's no other. And if they're not, Leon Rose is going to get a fucking new gig.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't. And it's not because I don't believe in these guys. I believe in these guys more than most Knicks fans. When you bring those Obi, Quickley, and Grimes guys, like some people are preferential. I think all three are really, really good.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. But I think they need to play, bro. That to me, I'm not even thinking wins and losses. I'm thinking about value, because no matter if we win 44 or 39 games, it doesn't matter, because we won 37 games last year. We can win 37 games with their roster and have more value than we did last year 100%. By virtue of the players we put on the floor.
Do you think now? Here's where it comes. Here's we have to ask these questions. Do you want flashes in the pan in terms of production, like how we saw the 26-point game from Obi, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Or do you want a consistent, let's say, 14 points from Obi a game?
Obi's got to impact the game without scoring, bro. If Obi's not impacting the game, and I'm not saying he doesn't do it, but I'm saying, like, no rebound should pass your athletic build with you fucking grabbing that board, bro.
Exactly. You jump out.
That's why I respect Mitchell Robinson's attitude, even though it was against on the Washington Wizards, and it was food, bro. Eat food. Go ahead. Go ahead. On nights you can eat. You need to contribute.
Put numbers on Obi. Give me a point total and give me a rebound total, because NBA guys.
He's got it. I mean,
it all starts with the minutes per game.
Yeah. If he gets 30 minutes per,
yeah, right.
I'm expecting 18. I'm expecting 6 rebounds, and I'm expecting like good plus minuses. Like that's
field goal percentage
for Obi.
So I want him shooting maximum like 3 threes per game. Like his daily bet should be like 0.5.
Right.
Like I don't need him to be fucking like 2.5 and you're fucking under or over by a lot and he's tossing up threes. Like absolutely. I need Obi Toppin shooting threes that are given to him. Anything where he's being guarded with more than 5 seconds on the shot clock, make a move to the rack and go. Make people react to you. I'm tired of this team fucking living on the perimeter. I'm tired of nobody fucking driving to the hoop and attacking the hoop. No excuses.
He could do it.
No excuses this year. Play aggressive.
Ari, I'm not gonna ask Poppa Left about Grimes. I'm asking you about Grimes because Poppa Left is partial to Grimes. Do you see him starting first off by mid-year? And then what tangible points per game do you see him getting? And then what do you want him shooting from 3?
So I think he should definitely start, just because why the fuck would Evan Fournier start?
Right.
I think he's a much better fit on the offensive unit. You got Randall, RJ, Brunson. They all, you need someone to play defense on that squad, right? Now, I've always been really high on Quentin Grimes because he's like, he doesn't need the ball to be effective. He plays like real man defense. Like, this is not like a bullshit defense. This is like in your face, like Marcus Smart type fucking defense. All right, man. And he can hit the 3. Okay. And I think he has more playmaking capabilities than he's shown. I think he's getting tips.
He does.
He's getting tips right now.
Give him credit. He does.
Playmaking.
So to answer your question, I want Quentin Grimes guarding the best perimeter player on the other team. I want him shooting from 3-pointer anywhere from 36 to 41%. Let's call it 38%, 37, 38%. As long as he could do that, then that's all right.
I want him to be more knocked down.
I want him to be more knocked down also, but he's a second-year player. You got to give him some time, I feel like. But either way, he could do it. Listen, he could be 40% even. It doesn't matter. But as long as he's a threat as long as he's in the top 20%, like top quartile of NBA 2 guards and 3-point shooting, and he's guarding the best perimeter player on the other team, and he switches 1 through 3, that's all I need from Quentin Grimes. He's like Obi. He's a low usage asset to have on a team. You know what I mean?
People want to know, Ari, what's going on with I've seen it all over Twitter. Every time there's been reports, he played against the Wizards and he seemed to look pretty good. He seemed to look like himself. He made a couple moves to the rack. He played good defense. He shot his shot. It looked on point. He was rimmed out, whatever. But then I got a couple reports on Twitter saying that, from Begley and Fred Katz and all these guys saying that Quentin Grimes, sore foot, rested, unlikely to go season opener. And there's a lot of people that are asking what is really going on with Quentin Grimes' foot. What is going on with that foot? Jay, do you have any theories?
I think he has plantar fasciitis, whatever it's called. It gotta be. So I don't think there's a fracture in anywhere, but it gotta be something.
So Tibbs really fucking wants this guy to play. That's what I'm gathering from this.
Listen, they held him out of trade for Donovan Mitchell. They have Evan Fournier start right now. Like this dude. Look, the second unit looked terrible. This dude is very important to the team's success. When he played against the Wizards, we saw a lot of shot creation. His shot didn't fall, but we saw him getting people involved. We saw him getting Mitch a couple dunks. Like he's a talented enough player to really get you in a certain situation. And he trained with who this summer? He trained with Penny, right? Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway, Ben Perkins.
So I mean, there's a common thread here, and I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. You got Quentin Grimes training with Penny Hardaway. You got Mitchell Robinson training with that guy. I think it's like his name is like Marcel Scott. And then you got RJ training with Drew Hanlon. those 3 guys that actually went in and got individual training from actual trainers came back this year with a whole different bag. Quickly.
Bro, I feel remiss if I didn't mention this. I met with Quentin Grimes' trainer, Ben Perkins, in Houston, and like he's a spiritual dude who loves basketball, like in every way you can imagine, and is the guy played in college, played overseas, and he gives to the kids. And what he told me about Quentin Grimes was amazing. He was like, I've been doing this, and like I would call and the people wouldn't pick up and they wouldn't show up. Grimes, like he was just like no other, and I knew he was gonna be like the goods when I got him. Like all he wanted to do was work on his game. That's all he wanted to do. Like people would get, talk about, his AAU experience, or, people kind of dragging him in. Like the dude just lives and breathes basketball in every sense of the
You know
man.
who else lives and breathes basketball?
I know where you're going with that.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I got a high.
See, IQ likes to go to fashion shows and he hangs out in Milan and he puts these little cute barrettes in his hair. I mean, we see him playing and training, playing basketball, but what is he really working on?
But I think that's Emmanuel Quickley's little legend that he's made for himself, though. Like, not to psychoanalyze the guy, but like that doesn't detract. Like if I'm gonna be popping, I might want to be popping like IQ is popping. That's all I'm saying.
Popping, but does IQ in year 3, from what we see in the preseason, look that much different?
3 games, bro. 3-4 games. Chill, dog.
But Jay, can I answer your question in a very serious way? Like that I just want to say, Emmanuel Quickley, I think, is dependent on the players that he plays with.
So explain that. Do you think? Cause I think he plays.
I really think if Emmanuel Quickley's on the floor, where he is another option, and the ball is moving, and people have to leverage their help defense, and he has more lanes to attack, and he can just make quick basketball decisions. Maybe play with the ball a little bit if he's hot. You know what I mean? But I just feel like when he's on the floor with guys like Hartenstein and Burks, and not Burks, but you know what I'm saying, last year, you know what I mean? Like these guys are just whatever. They're not moving anywhere. They're slow.
Would you just say fucking just start and put him in the starting lineup with Brunson?
I would say that last year. There's the second spot could be there. I mean, you could theoretically do this and get away with it tomorrow night. You could do it. I don't know who's the small forward on the Grizzlies. Who's the power forward?
Brooks, no.
Williams.
Yeah, this is a team I think we're gonna get without Grimes. We might get our ass kicked tomorrow night. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's talk about it. So what do you guys realistically think the Knicks are going to do this season? Like, where do you think? Like, what do you think their record's going to be? Where do you think they're going to land in the playoffs or not or the lottery?
You want to go first, Ari? You want to go first?
I'll go first. All right. So my prediction is 41-41. This is a 500 team. I'm going 41-41. The season is a success.
Ninth seed, any seed?
Yeah, I'll go 9 or 10 seed. Play in. They might make the play in depending on if Brunson and RJ still healthy. I'll say they might make the play in, and then they lose in 5 games in the first round, if anything. And I think the season is a success. If Julius Randle gets traded at the trade deadline, that's it for me. That's all I'm caring about right now.
There's a lot of 4-year deals that were put out. Like there was one 4-year deal. It was DeAndre Hunter for about like $93 million or something like that.
Yeah.
95 maybe. And then there was 95. And then it was a 4-year deal for Kevin Porter Jr. 4 years, 82.
That kid shouldn't have got nowhere near $90 million. They're nuts.
DeAndre Hunter?
Who?
DeAndre Hunter from the
Hawks. Yeah, that's why the Hawks are fucked, because they overpay everybody and their salary capped out. That's why they're never going to compete. But they're not trying to.
I don't think they can land. I feel like they're looking at it like they're trying to build trade pieces. I don't think they feel like they can land a big fish through a free agency though.
Which is silly because it's Atlanta. A lot of people want to live in Atlanta. You got Magic City. You got the strip clubs.
They gotta win something first though.
Yeah. So,
or get real close. I don't know, COVID shit. Anyways, Ari, keep going. 41.
Yeah,
41,
so I think 41-41. If Randall gets traded, that's all I care about. Right now, like a successful season to me is if you get rid of some bad money, you get rid of Julius Randle's contract, get rid of Evan Fournier's contract. Like Suffer Nick Shiles, Suffer Nick's Banks, he's on his Twitter, put out a tweet a couple days ago or a week ago saying we're the New York Knicks or a Julius Randle and Evan Fournier trade away from being a really exciting young team that has upside. I couldn't agree more under the contingency that they don't take any bad money back. I agree 100% with them. The best part about the whole thing with the Knicks is that they have all their draft picks. We didn't mortgage the future yet, right? So that's the good part about that is if RJ turns out to take another step and become an all-star, or Obi Toppin ends up taking another step, becomes borderline all-star, or whatever the case may be, and then and Brunson's nice, and they end up being a 5 or 6 seed or whatever, right? And they end up being that situation, then you have the information and you have the data that could say, all right, now let's get rid of these assets. Let's trade these draft picks. Let's trade a couple of these young guys and bring in a star because it's enough now to get there. We don't know that information yet, right? We don't have that data. We don't know. Gibbs didn't play the people last year, right? Also, if the Knicks go and play next year and they suck, Brunson ends up, being 15-5, whatever. RJ ends up being inefficient again. Obi Toppin's being the Penguin man again, and they suck, and they end up in the fucking lottery. Then all right, we got to rebuild and let's go play for the lottery and let's go, acquire assets and anything. So my whole thing, it's like you, Poppa Left. You don't care about the win-loss. I don't care about the win-loss either. I care about acquiring as much information.
As it stands today, I don't care about win-loss. As the season progresses, certain games that I'm going to I think people misconstrued that. They think like we're sitting there analytically through the season like, well, I hope they lose game 13 because they're 5-6 or 5-7. Like, no, if they're 5-7, I'll fucking obviously I'm rooting for the team to win. But once you're going on these multiple game losing streaks and you're not able to look each other in the mirror and fight back and win a game, at that point, you're not competitive. Like it was very clear. If you go through a month and you're 3-17, that better be the first month of the year. If you're doing that in the middle of the year, bro, you're fucked. Like I like no injury.
In February, and we were still trying to win games.
Yeah, and to their credit, the guys on the team, they were 9-5 in the last 14 games. They showed something, but that group of those guys, were not the same guys that were playing in the beginning of the year.
Shout out Above the Rim. Above the Rim, shout out. Above the Rim was a day one Knicks fan. He came before me in Knicks Fan TV. Shout out you, Above the Rim. Always supporting. Give Above the Rim the follow. Oh, Julito's in the building. I don't know what's going on. I'm drunk and watching on mute. Shout out to Julito, bro. Julito, follow KCDA on Nick's Twitter.
Everybody
it's probably the best Twitter spaces there is.
Add KCDA to your podcast app on your phone and stuff because they're running podcasts. I guess whatever podcast is called.
I'm on the podcast.
Poppa Left, how you taking calls in the middle of the podcast, brother?
Shout out CT Pittman.
I'm lit. What do you mean? Fucking made
CT money. Pittman, the first person to use hashtag Toxic Boys and buy from winesmoselle.com. CT Pittman's a fucking day one. Follow Julito on KCDA. He's got a sick flower hat, sick flower jacket. Good for you. That's what Bishop would do. And so Poppa, tell me season prediction record. What's a successful season? What's a failure of a season?
All right. Well, I don't see where you guys are anymore, but
we see you fine.
All right, that's fine. As long as you see me. So let's go. I'm going to say 41-41. I'm going to go with the same one, bro.
Yeah,
same one.
1-2?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say the same one, bro. I think this team is literally a win one, lose one style team, bro. I think it'll be like literally right there. And for me to get cute and say 42-40 or 39-41 or just jump out the roof with no fucking reason to, I'm gonna say that this team is like average, bro. This is like win one, lose one. I'm looking at the talent in this league, and I'm respecting the talent that's in this league. I'm looking at the group that's in our locker room, and I'm respecting the work that they've put in. And I'm respecting the journey that they're about to go on. But one thing that I will always support is hustle. One thing that I will always support is clutch performances. One thing that I will always support is intentional drive to win a basketball game. These are the things that I'm looking at in the middle of the year, in the journey. And yes, the narrative does matter. The narrative matters about certain players here. Like one player that I want to talk about that is like just assumed that he's going to get it done. Like Jalen Brunson, you're here to win me the game when it's a 2-possession game with 6 minutes left. Either way. I want to see that. I trust this team to be competitive most nights to keep it a game. But where this team needs to take that next step is hanging around in the game and then getting those stops. And yeah, go ahead.
Good for us. Is it good for the long-term health of this franchise? Is 41 games good?
I'm not
RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Is it 41 and 41 good for RJ Barrett? I mean, again, if the Knicks could go 41 and 41, okay, and RJ and a couple of guys on the team make a step forward. Remember, you still have Randall and Fournier's salaries, and you still have
I'm just not gonna give a hot take because it's hot, though. That's my thing. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I last year, I felt some 50 burger vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like coming off that season, I felt like we established a culture, the Big 15. We were gonna play for each other and all those things. Like, there are things about this team that I really like. Like, for instance, I told Ari the two most important players on this team, outside of the top tier talent, which is Jalen and RJ and Randall and all those guys, is like, can Quentin Grimes and Derrick Rose provide like super extra depth at the wing position and at the point guard position? Right. Like those guys are going to be so crucial on offense when it comes to Derrick Rose. It's going to be crucial for this guy to perform every night, not just through stretches. Every night.
Yo, Poppa. So Above the Rim asks, what's the record after the first 10 games? So I'm looking at the schedule for the first 10 games. I'm going to say it's a toss-up between 3-7 and 4-6 of the first 10 games of the season. I'm going to go 4-6.
It comes down to desire, bro. There's a lot of winnable games there, but there's also some of those winnable games you might fuck up and lose.
We lost
it's not a guarantee.
Games last year in the beginning of the season.
It's not a guarantee, especially early in the season, bro. Everybody's coming with their best game in terms of like their belief. Like there's no narrative being drawn on Pablo Banchero. If he wants to fucking have his career moment, game 2 against the Knicks, it can happen.
Right.
So we have to do our best with these bad teams to do what we did in the preseason. Just take them out of the game early.
Right.
Don't even leave it up to a decision. So for me, it's like you could read off but I see a lot of juggernauts there. But I know that it's the NBA and your desire can impede the competition. So we have to come out hard. I would say 4-6 to be safe. 5-5 is within reach.
Hey, what do you think? Besides that, Quentin Grimes is fat. What else do you think?
So I think we win like 42 games, 42 or 43 games.
Okay.
I think that on November 15th, see, the season is opposite of what we've had the last couple of years. We've gone on our West Coast swing in January, right? January, February, most seasons, right? And that kind of eliminates from all contention. This year, the West Coast swing is in November. It starts on the 15th. So we got the gauntlet really starts on 10:30. So we got Cleveland, Atlanta, Philly, Boston, Minnesota, Brooklyn, Detroit, OKC, whatever, Utah. Then we got Denver on the road, Golden State on the road, Phoenix on the road, Oklahoma City on the road. Come back home and play Portland and Memphis again. So by
emphasizing road trips when it comes to playing OKC, just to get extra.
Yeah, I mean, by Thanksgiving, I mean it's going to tell us a lot of.
We're not a guaranteed win against OKC if we fuck around. We're not.
Oh, hell no, we're not. No way.
We're gonna make that clear.
You said that's a guaranteed win, or you think that's a?
We are not. I need to see it first.
So the schedule from October 28th to Thanksgiving is gruesome, man. We got to know a lot about this team in the next month or so. We playing all playoffs.
It's gonna get toxic. It's gonna get toxic.
toxic, man. They're gonna test us right out the gate this year. I mean, it slows down. It's pretty even the rest of the year, but I mean, we got another West Coast swing. In January, and then we got one more toward the end of the year. So I mean, we're gonna be on the road a couple times, but they hit us with the gauntlet in November, which is interesting. So if we could come out that gauntlet 500, win a couple games on the road, we might be in for.
Here's the thing, Jay. Like, I got to be the guy to say it. I'll say it. Like, do we really? We're trying to like. It may not be the worst thing in the world to not win as many games as possible. Maybe. I mean, I don't know
how bad it starts, though. If we go, by the way, there's a realistic way that I'm just going to create a little narrative right now that's going to happen throughout the season. There's a way that we could realistically start this season 2-8, or dare I fucking say 1-9. And it might not be. It might be reflective of the schedule and the chemistry and the gelling more than it really is of the true nature of over 82 games. What this team is capable of.
Do you think we have a better chance of going 1-9 or 9-1?
1-9, absolutely.
But
absolutely, bro.
If we go 1-9, is it time to walk Tibbs out? Does Leon Rose have the nuts to do it?
But there's going to be people that are saying that the schedule is tough, bro. And they're going
to be the apologists. Remember when Steve Mills and Scott Perry had to come in and do that post game after Fizdale lost like 12 in a row, and they're like, "This is not acceptable." Meanwhile, their best player was Alonzo.
Rayology, I gotta say, Rayology has the of all the season predictions, his number is like fucking like Babe Ruth in my head. It's like I remember it. Like his shit.
How many?
13 and 27. Like he mapped this shit out. And at first I was like, "The fuck are you talking about, Ray? We're gonna fucking go 13 and 27." And then I looked it up and I was like, this shit is fucking these games fucking are terrible. Like, I don't want to see all these fucking talented teams.
That's what I'm saying. So is it
back to back?
Yeah, this first couple of weeks is gonna make and break this team. They might be a talented team, but our confidence might be shattered.
Bro, I'm watching Boston and Philly, bro, and they just got it, bro. They just got it. They got it.
That's what top end talent looks like when you have Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum and shit. But
it's just competitive, man. It's like a one possession game the entire game. Guys are fighting off the fucking free throw line.
Here's the question that I have for both of you. That's the real question. All right. Are the Knicks gonna make a big move come the deadline?
Leon Rose has yet to do anything big, brother. Leon Rose is a fraud. He hasn't closed the deal. He hasn't made any substantial moves in the 3 years he's been here. So that's an emphatic no from me.
Poppa,
what do you define as a big deal? Like
they're trading picks and young players for a superstar, or they're getting rid of Randall and Fournier.
Never. How they operate. If let's put it like this. If Leon Rose was going to return some shit, he would wait till the last day he could return it.
The 29th day, absolutely.
Yeah, like if you got 30 days to return some this fucking little
like blockbuster
fucking shit that I bought through the space, fucking got Knicks Twitter, Knicks content money now. I'm buying random shit like this. Like, and I have to return it because this shit was like $90 for no reason. And on Amazon, it's like $20. So I'm using this now. I'm going to return it to Best Buy. I'm sorry. I'm Jewish. Shout out to Kanye. To the real Jews as well. I just want to say that like Leon Rose don't fucking operate like that. Leon Rose operate like me. Like he's a fucking Jewish guy. He's gonna fucking wait and fucking see if this shit works or not. And then like when it's the last day, he'll fucking go return it. Not in the middle of the season. It's not gonna happen.
So you guys are both no on that.
No. Won't happen.
No headphones. That's right. No headphones for me. I gotta fucking see 20 likes in the chat before I get a pair of headphones.
What about you, Ari? What do you see happening by the deadline?
Oh my God, man. I mean, listen, dude. I could only look at this from a logical standpoint of what I would do, right? That's the only thing I could do. And obviously, I know Leon Rose is not me, unfortunately. But I don't know if they're going to necessarily. Here's the way I think it. If they're like doing well and they're like in a top 5 seed at the time of the deadline, I think they're going to make a move for a disgruntled star. I think they're gonna really push their chips in. Now, if they don't, now here's
That's
the thing.
weird. I don't want that because if they do that, they use the half season excuse with Tibbs. You only got a half season with him. You only got a half season. I don't want that shit. Let him flame
Listen,
out.
I mean, it depends on who the guy is. Like, is it going to be a D'Angelo Russell? Obviously, it wouldn't be D'Angelo Russell, but it's going to be that caliber of, like, then I'm like, no. But if it's going to be like,
it's got to be a team that was projected to be really good and then just isn't good. It's got to be like that.
Bradley Beal.
Nah, it wouldn't be him. It would be somebody like in the Western Conference.
Booker.
That's a top-end talent, and the team is just trash.
It got to be Beal, bro. Beal got the relationship with Worldwide West. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, this whole fucking nepotism shit about, like, CAA, Godson, fucking my agent. Like, dude, like, what is that? Like, and Jay, to your credit, you were the first person to say this. If you're got the CAA guys, like, you have your group of like Cat, Booker, whatever, you're like 5 guys, but then everybody else in the NBA like does not like you at all. Like, and you have no connection to anyone else. You're literally making the sample size of the people that you could actually go and make a run at so much smaller than it would be if you were just a regular front office guy who had no ties.
Nick says Jamal Murray, but I thought about Jamal Murray. I like where you're thinking with that one, Nick.
Yeah, but what do you need Jamal Murray if you have Jalen Brunson?
Jamal Murray?
That's why I just don't fucking love the Jalen. I love Jalen Brunson, the player, but I don't think the signing for this team at this point really, like, I'm not like
too
he
early,
wasn't
right?
that point. He wasn't the point guard that needed to unlock RJ and Mitch and Obi and all those guys. He's a good player in himself. Yeah, we need a wing with this team.
Yo, watching the type of point guard I think we need, bro, is when I watch Darius Garland, bro. In terms,
I personally think Devin Booker's bitch made. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like the way he handles.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get double teamed.
I don't like his top tier game. I don't think he's good enough to win a finals by himself.
What type of point guard y'all want though? Like, when I look at Darius Garland play in terms of pace and getting guys involved and
point guard's done, bro. It's Brunson, dude. They're gonna stick with Brunson. That's it. The point guard's done.
First guard, so it's like, I mean, does he really unlock anybody? Does he make Mitch better, like, or does he look for a shot?
He makes the overall competitiveness and the basketball IQ better, and he kind of like finds the right guy within his game. He's gonna make the right play, but he's not a guy that's gonna draw attention to him to the point where he's making other guys. He's dragging just box scores with him.
All right,
you know what I mean? That's not who he is.
Just so we know, for Jay for a second. Rayology, IRAS, Above the Rim, Suffer Knicks, and Pastor Claudio are all mods. They're the first 5 mods.
I like that starting 5. What is it? What is it? Suffering Knicks, Rayology.
It's IRAS because he was the first comment ever. It's Rayology because he was the second comment ever. It's Pastor Claudio because he's the third comment ever.
Oh,
we're going to put Above the Rim in because I go way back with Above the Rim, and we're going to put Suffering Knicks. He's the Banksy of Knicks Twitter.
So okay, so you have 3 starts. So you're like the Knicks, 3 starting spots, just pure meritocracy, and then 2 of them are optics driven.
Yes, correct. 2 optics, okay. Above the Rim and Suffering, and then 3 who actually earned it: Rayology, Pastor, and IRAS.
In terms of, and shout out to Mods. Here's how I see it in terms of the win total. Brunson is so good. I feel like he takes us to that 42-43 win mark. I feel like he completely changes the outlook of his team. He organizes them, like Poppa Left said, in terms of basketball IQ, footwork, being able to close games, being able to get his own shot. He completely changes everything.
Poppa, how many bad games in a row does it take before Jay flips on that and says Brunson's overpaid and he's fat?
I don't think it'll be possible.
Yeah, no, Brunson's nice.
Dude, nice. 2-game losing streak that puts us under 500. Anything under 500, Jay will flip on Jalen Brunson.
Who's gonna win? Yo, how do you think Jalen Brunson's gonna handle Ja tomorrow?
I don't think they'll be matched up like that. No, I know they are. It's gonna be interesting.
Who's gonna check them then?
It probably is gonna be Jalen Brunson. Now that I think of it, there's nobody else there. Emmanuel Quickley a little bit. Derrick Rose.
The matchup gets
RJ a little bit.
RJ starts at 4. Brandon Clark starts at 4 with Triple J out. So Brandon Clark plays with immense pace. Like the man is like running down the court at 100 miles per hour. So like him and Obi would be an ideal matchup in terms of just pace. But Randall's gonna have to be on point trying to keep up with this Clark kid because Clark is a hustler.
Bro, their game. I'll tell you this, man. We're gonna need to shoot very well tomorrow night to have a chance to win this game. Like from three, not from 2, from 3. Because this team is gonna get their buckets.
Sorry, I'll take a shot of this vodka right now. If everyone just likes the thing right now, I'm selling out right now. What
are we at right now? How many likes do we have?
I don't know.
There's 29 people in here.
That's not bad. That's
pretty good.
We got to start somewhere. We got 23 likes. If everyone hits the like button, I'll take a shot of this Grey Goose right now, and then I'll fight I'll bring my dog over here, and you can see a cute dog or some shit. But everyone like that button for the Toxic Boys now. All right, I'm taking a shot.
Let's go.
Poppa L'chaim.
L'chaim to you, my brother.
L'chaim. L'chaim.
You gotta let out. Come on, man.
Yo, I grew up in Riverdale, man. Shout out to the Bronx, man. I grew up with the Jewish homie, so I got a little knowledge. Yo, so what's the final score tomorrow? Like, how many points are we scoring? Do we win? Do we lose? Like, what's the prediction in terms?
We need to get Lord Banks from Twitter, dude. So there's this guy on Twitter. His name is Lord Banks. I don't know what it's still floating. His @ is still floating, and he's Lord Banks. And I swear to God, on my life, I was asking this guy picks, bro. He was picking multiple games in a row with the exact score differential over under and the exact he's like Knicks -7. Knicks gonna win by 7, and he literally hit the number 3 games in a row. This guy. So whatever that guy says, Lord Banks.
Were they wins or losses? All wins?
No, he was right the entire time. No, they were mostly losses. But I'm saying like he was right. Like there was a game against Boston where he's like, take Boston. Boston's gonna win by 7, and like Boston won by 7.
All right. Look, I think the Knicks are going to lose this game probably in the 100s. I'm going to go 109. The Grizzlies have 109, and we're going to go Knicks 99.
I'm going to go shootout. Grizzlies 113, Knicks 105.
I think even higher. I think they scored a lot of points in the preseason. So I think the Grizz. I don't know, man. I think the Grizz scored maybe 120, 121, and Knicks score 114 in that range. Just because the preseason, preseason is the level of competition isn't as high, but I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah. Yo, Iraz said my man got the Gray Sports Almanac or on some Biff fucking Back to the Future 2 shit.
Yeah.
That was a fucking scheme. That was a good scheme.
That was a great scheme, man. Classic movie.
I like that. That was a good little villain. Like he had all the money. He was just gonna make all the bets. I just love how it just came down to a fucking almanac.
He was like,
anyways.
CT is gonna be in Memphis tomorrow. CT Pittman.
He's going to the game.
Yeah, yo, you should link up with Deej. CT. Deej is gonna be at the game tomorrow. Yo, Deej is flying. What do you work for an airline or something? That guy's flying everywhere.
Yeah, he works.
He flies planes.
Oh, nice.
He flies on planes, yeah.
Shout out to Deej, man. Shout out to everybody that's
Deej is just like out there posting up. Like he just be out there. He'd be out there.
What does he do? He just like he works on the plane or what is it?
I think he's an attendant. He's an attendant on the plane. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be the last.
Imagine getting on the plane and it's like a lot of y'all sleeping. like that's how you make it. Like, I see a lot of y'all sleeping, but we here in Orlando.
Oh,
made it. It's about 78 degrees. But he's not the pilot, though. But he should have that Southwest Airlines fucking Deej treatment. Like, he should be able to talk his shit. As long as the plane's, like, fucking up and running, Deej should be able to talk his shit. That's just my business decision. That's not going to happen. But
if you had to, all right, so here's another thing. Let's riff it. If you had to pick one thing that'll make this, like, give me if you had one wish list, right, from the Knicks, like one thing wish that'll make your season a success for the Knicks, what would it be, Poppa?
I'm fucking inclined to say NBA Finals. I can't wish on nothing else but that. But what do I think that like? What do I think that could,
like realistically, like
a realistic wish, a realistic wish,
realistic wish.
Beat the Brooklyn Nets in the first round of the playoffs.
Wow, you think that's realistic?
Just make it happen. The Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets right now, by the way, don't have to be the Brooklyn Nets in April or May. Just beat whatever version they have in the
first round win. First round win.
No, against Brooklyn.
Okay.
I want to fucking beat Brooklyn.
Jay, what do you say?
I love saying "fuck you" to the Cleveland Guardians.
I can't give one wish. You got to be like 3 or 4 wishes. Fuck
no,
you.
You got to pick one. You got to pick one.
The 11th seed in the lottery.
Okay.
Sorry.
What does the 11th seed get you?
Why couldn't you shoot higher?
Sorry.
Why 11? Why is that your so like? Why would you want the 11th fucking draw
in the lottery so we can get another player to
it's realistic, Poppa.
We're not going to draft that player. Why wouldn't you wish like 7th, 6th? Maybe you could trade.
So you think they're going to trade the pick before the draft? Is that what
I think they, unless the Knicks are showing that they'll draft
2% chance.
No. They'll draft at the top of the draft, or they'll draft at like the bottom of it. They don't want any fucking part of that Ntilikina knock shit no more.
It's like the modern NBA. We
don't shoot part of that. They don't want any
Jay,
part of 11th gems.
11th in the lottery gets you a 2% chance at Wembanyama. 2%.
Yeah, they don't want that. They don't want that. But they don't want that, Ari, because they're not going for Wembanyama. They're going for the residual aftershock of talent that's coming out of this draft, which is going to be a lot.
I'm saying, for me, it's obvious.
They want to be like 6, 7. If you're a tank commander, at least shoot high. At least shoot high. Shoot like 6. Can we be the 6th worst team in the NBA before we talk about
clear me that $28 million of Julius Randle every year? Get him out of here.
That might make us better.
And then give me the 28. Clear the cap.
So that's your thing. You just want to trade Julius.
I just want to get the cap. Listen, bro. Someone's got to be fiscally responsible here. If I have to be the guy, I'll be the fucking guy, bro. Get rid of Julius Randle. Evan Fournier is an expiring contract next year. You'll be able to move him next year. And then next year, you got fucking enough money to sign a supermax guy. Okay? Supermax, all right? Imagine you have Brunson, RJ, Obi, Quickley, Mitch, Grimes, and supermax guy there. Now you're talking a real team right there, right?
That's not we signing one.
Ideally, you're signing one, but if you have to trade for one, then you trade for one also. Whatever it is, you have to
ask. Man, they got all these picks. The most important thing with this franchise is going to be what they do with them.
Bro,
straight up.
I've been saying this for years. The picks mean nothing unless you use them properly.
That's what I'm saying. What are we going to do with them? That's what I'm saying.
You can't trade out the 23 draft because the 23 draft to other GMs is worth more than the 24, 25, or 26. So these picks, either you pick a good player, that's why I want them to pick high in the draft, or you trade them for a superstar. But this is the draft to unload these picks. You got the Mavs pick, we got our own pick, and we got another pick, right? We got a third first rounder.
Yeah, but I feel like
one of those guys. You have to go
like obviously we're not talking about Wembanyama or Scoop, but like I feel like the talent at the high end of that draft, like the top 5 or 7 guys, it's gonna take a lot more than the historical amount of picks to move up there because you're comparing
another star in this draft that's not Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson.
Bro, like the third pick in the draft is gonna have to give up 4 picks just to move up 2 spots. Not even. They're not even moving up.
Star level player. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not talking. Moving up is my thing is go get a real player, because this is the draft that holds the weight in terms of the type of talent that it has, or be bad enough so you can get into the Thompson twins, so you can get into Whitehead, so you can get into Scoop. But make a decision. Like, we gotta use this is the draft to use the picks. We can't just go through the season and pick at 21 and not trade and then pick another role player and nah, bro. Be smart about this build for once.
Pastor asked a good question. Who's actually available from Max?
Did he send any money to ask it?
They both signed. So
did Pastor send any money to ask that question?
I mean, they can't send money, Poppa. What are you talking about? This is a super chat. So shout to Pastor.
But he sends fake super chats. So I at least want like the $0, 0 cents.
Yo, Jay, remember the first Toxic Boys podcast? The first one ever where I'm like, our sponsor, winesbymozel.com, for 0% off and paid shipping, signed to
Yeah.
Toxic Boys.
Did people actually use that? Is there any like fucking analytics?
CT Pittman used it.
Used it? All right, good. I'm glad Moselle has that ability to do that. Moselle was taking me around his shops in fucking Harlem. He's like, yeah, I own that. I'm like, God damn it, dude, what the fuck?
Here's another question for you, both of you.
We didn't answer the pastor's question yet.
All right, Pastor, what did he say? Who will actually be available for a max deal next year? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Nobody.
On the market.
They both signed. Wiggins and Poole signed with the Warriors. So, I mean, we got Kyle Kuzma left.
Stop, bro. Stop doing this.
I mean, it's a CAA player. I mean, that's who's on it. I mean,
all right, let's see. We have Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Beverly, Josh Hart. Oh, God. Kelly Oubre. Like, this is terrible.
Nobody. It's Kyle Kuzma or nothing.
But Ari, at the same token, everybody's not going to have a good season this year. So whatever player that doesn't
Kyrie.
There's a lot of whatever player ends up in the 6th, 7th, 8th seed, anything like that, where they feel like I don't know why I'm here if I'm going to be a 6th, 7th, 8th seed player, and they want to go and they say I don't want to be here, they'll become available in the same way.
Shout out Al Diddy in the chat.
Oh shit, Al Diddy's real supporter. We got Eric in here.
The 305 in the chat. We've hit 30. Guys. We've hit 30
live
people. Not bad.
We hit Julius Randle on her.
Yo, subscribe to the fucking channel. Al Diddy. We're gonna make you a mod too. Fuck it. We're making Al Diddy a mod also. We're just gonna make everybody mod. Optics, right? 3 optics moves, 3 earned moves. 3 optics.
What kind of organization do you really want to be, Ari?
Smooth asks what superstar will want out next. If you're that's a good question. Who do you think is the next real superstar that's going to request a trade?
Someone from Boston, probably.
Jaylen Brown? He was
in the if they don't perform, they're winning by 12, though, bro. They ain't fazed by nothing that happened this offseason. They're just a really strong team, man.
Man, PJ Tucker looks old. I think SGA is the next one to ask out. It just makes too much sense.
Yeah, SGA. You're right. You probably agree with that one.
Yeah, I think SGA.
SGA star?
Brad Beal.
Has he ever made an All-Star game? SGA?
No. Or Brad Beal. I see Brad Beal asking out. I mean, are the Knicks going to pay the price to trade for one of these guys? If Drew Holiday got 3 picks, 3 years ago? I mean,
guys like Emmanuel
that was also
Emmanuel Quickley. They can get whatever they want.
Here's the difference, Jay. That was a situation where the Bucks were already a deep playoff team and they needed to give over the hump.
Right.
The Knicks were a fucking lottery team last year. That's why they didn't fucking do that, right? So that's the whole point. What I'm trying to say is if the whole success of this season is about acquiring as much information as possible, right? If the team is a threat and you see RJ and Obi or Brunson, they take a step and they prove that they're really, really good, then they will pay for that. And if they're not that good, then they're not going to pay for that. Now the problem is that this season should have been last season. Should have been last season where they found out about the young kids and Tom Thibodeau was playing Burks forever and all that crap, right? Kemba and all this bullshit, right? It should have been last season. Tibbs wasted a season for us, right? All I care about is acquiring as much information as possible so you know what direction you're going to go in. But the beautiful thing about it is we haven't mortgaged the future yet. We still have all our draft picks. RJ looks nice. We have a point guard finally. Obi has high ceiling.
There's time constraint on those picks. That's what I keep saying, Ari. We do have the picks, I agree. But if I'm a GM, if I'm Sam Presti, I want these 23 picks now. I want to make my picks from this draft.
Give me something good for them. That's it.
In this year's draft, to me, are the 2 most important assets that we need to trade if we're going to trade them for a star.
Yo, Jay, let me ask you a question. What do you have to what do you have to see from Emmanuel Quickley to stop the slander?
He has to play with complete control. He can't come in the game and shoot 4 consecutive times.
What happens if he hits? What happens if he hits it?
Still, It's just the idea of him, his ideology in terms of how he approaches the game got to change for me to like him. He could be hot, he could be on fire, but you got to get your guys involved. You got to play with better pace. You got to be calm. You got to make better decisions. You got to finish better at the hoop. He has to do a lot of things better for me to like Emmanuel Quickley as a player. If he does all those things, I can't hate on him. Whatever.
You could say a lot. You could say Julius Randle.
I think Reality brings up Reality. I'm going to just read this. He says, "What's crazy is all this quote unquote increased Julius's value is silly to me." He says, "Son was one of 3 players between him, Jokic, and Giannis to average 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Right.
What does Julius have to average to quote unquote increase his value?" It's a great point, because his statistics are if you're going to credit his statistics and you're going to say that he's a good player, then we should be able to trade. We should get a positive for him. We should be able to get off his contract.
We should. I agree.
I don't think so. I think when you're the most inefficient, high usage player in the NBA and you're plus minus.
Well, that's why he's not. There's no increasing that value based off statistics. That's not the point. The point is he has to come in here and show that he can play within a system of other talent.
That's what he was trying to do in the preseason, clearly.
I mean, do you guys like how Leon Rose is building this team around Julius Randle, Brunson?
I think we gotta wrap up shop, bro. We were over here 90 minutes, bro.
Yeah. But do y'all
All
like?
Right. What you say?
Do you like Leon Rose building around R.J. Barrett, Randle, and Brunson?
Randle's not. I refuse to acknowledge that Leon Rose is building around Julius Randle. I think he's building around R.J. Barrett and Jalen Brunson. And listen, R.J. looks really fucking good right now. I mean, listen, it's only been 4 games. I'm not going to say he's a shooter. I'm not going to say a lot of stuff, but I mean, he's 20. He just turned 22. He's playing really good basketball. He plays defense. Jalen Brunson.
I got an answer for you, Jay, when you're ready.
On a reasonable contract, I think those are the 2 pillars. I think Randle, and like Sufferin said, Randle and Fournier. What are you going to do with those 2? Fournier's expiring next year, so don't worry about him too much. Randle, what are we doing with Randle? Right? Do you want $28 million a year, $117 million contract, being the 4th option, taking 4 shots or 5 shots a game or whatever the fuck it is, and do you not playing defense? Like, do you want him to be that? Do you want that money tied up there, or do you want it to clear the cap and bring in some real players and give Obi a shot too? You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
I just don't want a repeat of the 4th seed, man. You got Randle. Randle signed for the next 4 years because of that situation. Like, eventually we're gonna have to build this thing right. Eventually. Go ahead, Poppa.
My thing with it is Leon has just. I feel like they're invested in going to the games. I feel like they're invested in believing in their talent. I think they're invested in the team getting better. I think they're invested in their vision. But on a day-to-day level, are they invested in addressing the accountability and the standards of where this franchise needs to be in order to make that next move? Because when you first asked me that question, I was like, I don't really think about Leon Rose at this point. Like right now, Leon Rose is a topic of discussion when there's a trade on the surface or the team is kind of out of flux, something like that. That's why I really turned my attention to Leon Rose. But now I'm looking at the team, and I'm also thinking about your question. Like, how does Leon Rose have to impact this team? And it's largely what Ari is talking about. It's about the veterans that are on this team. Do you really envision these guys being here for Evan Fournier 2 years after this year? Right? Obviously not. Obviously, that's an obviously no. Like the second his contract is up, Evan Fournier will not be. It's a team option deal. He will be gone. So he's got 2 years max left. Okay. Julius Randle is a different story, but you have to decide whether you want to invest your time. Forget about the money. The money you can replace in other ways, in creative ways, and you can take a loss somewhere. But do you want to invest your time in a player to fit this 3rd role spot with Jalen Brunson and R.J. Barrett, or do you want to make a move to make this team better? And the timing of all that is the appropriateness or the lack of responsibility or whatever it is going to come into play. But I think that Leon Rose, his biggest flaw for me is falling asleep at the wheel. Like I just feel like he's not. I feel like he's invested. Like he roots for the team. He believes in the team. He's abreast of things that are going on with the team and behind the scenes and all those things. But is he strong enough to say, you know what, this ship has ran its course?
Right.
Tibbs needs to go, because at a certain point, bro, like Tibbs she's gotta be gone. Like he's not gonna be here forever. So, and I think Leon Rose would rather it be Tibbs before him. I would hope. I don't know, but the point is that
he made. This is why I go back to why do you take the job? You made $300 million in your career. Like, why are you working for the Knicks?
Yeah, no, it's a retirement plan for real. It's a little early retirement plan.
How does he make $300 million?
Yeah, Leon Rose and his daughter reposted me impersonating Leon Rose, and she thought it was funny. And then people told her, maybe her brother and whatnot, maybe told her like, "Yo, take that shit down. Papa Left is fucking toxic as shit. He hates Dad." What do you mean he hates Dad? Just look at his tweets. Like that's probably how that conversation went down. Because why would she take my joke down? She thought it was funny, but I don't know, man. Leon Rose, that's a Jay from Florida guy. Like you're gonna have to figure out Leon Rose throughout the season and tell me how it's important.
Not me, brother. Not me.
All right. Listen, it's been an hour and 27 minutes. Let's wrap this up. Jay, final thoughts. Where can people find you and sign out?
Jay from Florida. At Jay from Florida 1 on Twitter. Shout out to all of my Twitter brothers in the chat. Everybody that came through. Everybody watched the everybody. We'll see what happens with this season, man. I keep saying I don't want to replay the mighty 4th seed. I feel like this takes 2 steps backwards. We might take 5 steps forward. Sometimes losing a couple games during the regular season is good for the long-term health of the franchise. Hate me if you want. I still love this team. I still got my jersey since I was 9 years old on my wall. I bleed orange and blue. You know what I'm saying? I got the same sweat as Patrick Ewing in my forehead, right? The same Jamaican sweat. But I want to get a player next to RJ Barrett. That's my goal.
May 4th just cracked me up, bro. He said in all caps, which is like in my own schematics now. I just think of Ari when I read all caps. And he says, "You allowed Tibbs to finish his contract regardless of the record. That's real culture change."
Jeez.
That gotta be a troll job, bro. You can't be serious, bro. I'm nervous.
Papa, where could people find you?
People can find you at Poppa Left on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm at Live Like Lefty. Yeah, man. And then tomorrow night I start doing the live stream with the Nick Lounge. So check that out. Every game I'm gonna be, watching the game. You're gonna be able to watch me just like this. And then you find me on Tuesdays and game day, pretty much. So Tuesdays is every Tuesday, Toxic Boys podcast. It's going to be a fucking interesting ride, man. Recapping this team every Tuesday. Things are going to happen. Win streaks, losing streaks, coaching decisions, frustration, elation. All of it is going to come together over these 82 games and maybe more. So I'm really excited to be here with my brothers, Ari from Manhattan and Jay from Florida, every Tuesday night. And it's going to be a fucking amazing journey. Peace to everybody that supports, and peace to everybody that will support, and peace to all the people that hate. And you all make this possible equally in your own personal way. So thank you.
Word. Great stuff, Papa. All right. So I'm Ari from Manhattan. You can find me at Ari from Manhattan, only one M from Manhattan, at Twitter. You were going to be here, Toxic Boys. This is our first episode. So you guys are here from ground zero. So everyone who's in the chat today, everyone who subscribed already, you guys will have a special piece of the Toxic Boys. We're going to do something special for everybody that was here. I'm still doing, I'm in my brain right now trying to figure out how I could, support you guys for supporting us. And, I'm a very loyal guy, and I definitely appreciate all the people that come in, when we have our first show. Shout out to the ladies, Nishi and Smooth. Shout out to Smooth. I stole that from Smooth. But shout out to Nishi. Nishi's a model, so we need. She's the first lady of Toxic Boys. But I definitely want to make it something special for you guys. You guys were the first, 100 subscribers, first 25 people to come join the show. So I'm going to work on something. And, Toxic Boys is going to be something different, right? We're going to have we're going to get better at this as time goes on. We're going to have more strict schedule, but it's going to be a conversation for the most part, right? We're going to have certain things that we want to touch on, but me, Jay, and Poppa are best. And we just talk bullshit and just, kind of work off.
I think in the pre-show meetings and all the conversations we had is we always knew we're really not talking about anything yet. I'm really excited to talk about this team with you guys. And
yeah.
I'm excited for the fans of the show and for the fans of the team to kind of come together in its own universe, this Toxic Boys universe, and discuss this team as it plays out. It'll be very interesting. Narratives will be broken. You saw the Cam Reddish narrative it's struggling right now. Quentin Grimes, the foot is a mystery. There are people that are repping Julius Randle ready to say, now what, motherfucker? 4-1. There's some people, everybody's going to get a W somewhere. So I'm excited to and an L. So I'm excited to discuss the Twitter, the Knicks Twitter goggles on YouTube in real life. And I'm really excited that we're not on Spaces and we're in your face and you could see us.
Yeah, and I'm going to work out something where I can make sure that, all of us
Ari, they want stock options too. They said.
I know. I'm working on some things right now to make sure that the people that are here day one and the people that support us, get some benefit, whether it's free merch or something. I don't know. I got to figure something out. But
merchandise is another thing that's coming. B Nix just mentioned that. He wants a Toxic Boys shirt with that logo.
We're gonna work on it.
We have 2 logos here actually, so we should. My job is also to clip this up and put it up. So I got to shout out the logo that's right here.
You don't have to shout them out. It's all right, but whatever, do it.
But I can't do this shit. Shout out to fucking CP the Artist Skull over there, okay? The fucking skull with the fucking toxic symbol and the Toxic Boys and the skull is kind of screaming and I love that shit. That's CP the Artist. CP the Artist based out in Atlanta. He's from Jersey. Really dope dude. I met him in Atlanta at a Knicks Fan TV meetup for games 3 and 4. On Sunday, I met him on game 4. Dope dude, really talented, really trash Knicks takes, beyond garbage Knicks takes. But he makes up for it in so many more important ways. But if you need a logo, definitely go hit him up. And then the logo on the bottom is actually Jay Nicky's. Jay Nicky. So support Jay Nicky. He works for the NBA, which is fucking nuts. He's a freelance artist, a graphic designer. And he made the X and the Toxic Boys and hold everyone accountable. He's really talented. And so we got to shout those guys out. Melly is in the chat. So we got 2 ladies in here confirmed. So yes, Pop is high. I am definitely high right now. I'm definitely high. Shout out to my fiance for getting the pre-rolls. Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Where'd Jay go? Where the fuck he go? This guy just blacked himself out.
Yeah, he's out. We lit in Jersey, man. Ari, you can't get legalized weed over there.
No, I can get legalized weed.
There's legalized weed in New York? Then fuck me. I don't know anything.
What are you talking about? The whole Vegas have weed everywhere. They have weed everywhere.
Yo, Jay, you're about to get fired, bro.
All right. He's done. I removed him.
All right. Fired.
So listen, we're gonna close this up. We're gonna close this up, but yeah, just to oh, he's back. All right, but just to summarize this. We really appreciate you guys.
Get him out of here, bro.
All right, so we really appreciate you guys. This is our first time. We're gonna get better and better and better. We're gonna keep the one thing I can promise you is I can promise you 2 things. Number 1, we will hold everyone accountable. You will hear things on here that you won't hear in any other parts of Knicks Twitter or Knicks or anything like that. You won't hear that. We're gonna keep it a buck always, and I promise that I'm going to take you guys. I'm going to find some way to incorporate the fans into the Toxic Boys, the people that are here from day one. I'm going to find a way to incorporate you guys into our community and have
There's no better gift, Ari, that you can give somebody than when you say God bless you and your family.
God bless you and your family, man. That's it. And I'm going to find a way to make sure that everyone is a part of this, and not just a part of it that your voice, but you could be a contributor to this. You could help us out. You could get money off this in the future and things like that. and you could join a family. So we appreciate all you guys. This is just the episode 1. I am going to go through every person who was here. I'm going to write down everyone who's here. And you guys you could say that you were here day 1 for Toxic Boys podcast. You're a part of the clan. You're part of the group. We can't do super chats yet because we don't have 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it. It's free to do it. Like, subscribe, and share.
But bring day 2 motherfuckers too.
No,
day 1 motherfucker. No.
There
Don't
is.
just be a day 1 motherfucker and just be like, I'm the day 1 motherfucker. We still in here 30 people. Like, bring the day 2 motherfuckers too.
Day 2 motherfuckers in here too, but day 1 motherfuckers got to get something a little bit better.
Yeah, they get preferential treatment, optics on everything.
Optics.
Absolutely.
We got optics. So
you don't even got to perform. You're just day 1.
Exactly. So listen, I hope you guys had a good time tonight. It's going to get, once we have some more Knicks shit to talk about, when we're talking about the games, we're talking about the weeks and all this stuff, we're going to have a lot more content. Not only is it going to be YouTube, but we'll be popping up Twitter spaces every once in a while. I'm going to be doing my financial quarterly reports at MSG. Papa Left's going to be doing his rants for Toxic Boys.
I might rap a little bit.
He'll rap. He'll do his impersonations. He'll do whatever it is. Jay will call people fat, and
I can't believe that take.
That's the funniest part of the whole show.
I'm gonna clip that up and say Jay from Florida thinks Quinn Grimes is fucking chubby.
That's it.
Baby, all right?
All right, baby. All right. So salute to you guys. We're gonna end this. Follow, like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate you guys. Until next Tuesday, deuces.
I'm really excited. Let's see you next time.